name is John Drake. I'm an Air Force veteran. I served from July 2003 to December 2009, and in 2007 I volunteered for deployment to southern Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I stand against Donald Trump because he has no integrity, no honesty, and cares about nothing but enriching himself and his oligarch buddies. He's against a well-educated populace. We know this as he is currently attempting to destroy the Department of Education. He clearly doesn't care about veterans. As in the past, he's called us suckers and losers, and is currently cutting the VA and firing thousands of veteran federal employees. He is a bigot and a racist, which is proven by his past and by how he runs his administration, and because of his repeated attempts to gain unchecked power over the United States government, and that he is damaging relationships with our closest allies of decades while he cozies up to the dictators of the world. I would say that I feel betrayed, but not by Trump, as he's never been on my side. I feel betrayed by the American people who voted him into power. Less than 100 years ago, this country sent its young men into the horrors of war in the theaters of Europe and the South Pacific to fight against the fascists and bullies of the world. And I think too many have forgotten the price paid by American sons, daughters, and families during that time in world history.
My name is Brian. I'm a 28-year military vet and a registered Republican voter. The recent classified scandal reinforces in my mind that responsibility and accountability of one's actions are non-existent in this current administration. We the people are now witnessing a coordinated campaign of disinformation and absolute cowardice by the very leaders we the people need to be the most courageous. The SecDef and the president have even gone on to blame the one innocent person involved, the editor of The Atlantic. They've disparaged his character and called his reporting a hoax, using a familiar ploy used by this administration when faced with uncomfortable truths. Someone in DC grow a freaking spine, take responsibility for this massive screw-up, and resign in disgrace from your job. Anything short of this, in my mind, just reaffirms to me that the Trump administration isn't worried about draining the swamp or dismantling the deep state. Instead, they're methodically building a far more insidious and dangerous form of government that rewards their richest supporters and keeps we the people under their control. America is not a dictatorship yet, but history shows that the multitude of legally questionable actions taken by this administration are the exact way others have gotten there.
I'm sharing this recording as a veteran of the United States of America. I served in the Army from 1978 to 1981. I respect those who served in the military and lost life and limb so that we could have the freedoms that we enjoy today. One of those freedoms is not ignoring the takeover of our country. One of those freedoms is not ignoring a fascist government and a tyrant who wants to take away all of our rights. Oh, I could spend the time listing all of the things, as my opponents do, that Biden did or somebody else did. That's not what this is about. This is about our very freedoms, our liberties, our rights being taken away by an individual who can't even put his pants on without help. I'm not going to just start name calling. I'm not going to indulge people who want to match lists of what Biden or Obama did versus what this man is doing. I call him a man, but with the least amount of respect that I could possibly ever muster. If you would use your AI, your search engines, your brains, and actually look at what's going on every day, day after day, rights are being taken away. Now he wants to bring segregation back. The Veteran Suicide Hotline is being removed. HUD funding is being removed. Food funding is being removed. Education is being removed. Okay, so he's not as subtle as the politicians of the past are insofar as taking away our rights, our liberties, and our freedoms. He's right out there, right in your face doing it. You can't believe it's happening, so you just don't do anything about it. Well, the time is here, folks. We either stand up legitimately, rightfully, and appropriately against a dictator who has lost his ever-living mind, or we suffer the consequences. The awakening is here. The light will shine so brightly that he will realize he started his own demise. His cronies, the Congress, the Senate, all of these people will wake up one day and realize the gig is up. But only if you, each individually, take the time to have your voices heard. Who cares about your car, your phone, your clothes, your house? Nobody gives a damn, because you're going to lose it all. This cryptocurrency will take away your right to manage your own money and have your own money in your possession. Is that what you'd like to see happen? I haven't lost my mind. I'm not an extremist. Neither are the millions of people who are waking up and standing up against this regime. He is a traitor. He is a pedophile. He is a sexual abuser. This is the man who was elected to office, supposedly by people that want to celebrate the freedoms and the democracy we have in this country. Well, they have that right to cast that vote. But we have a right to stand up and say, no, that's enough. No more. Here's the line. You crossed it. You shit on it. He does not have all-encompassing power over us. He does not have the right to do what he's doing. Neither does his crony or the scared to death representatives of our states and local governments. You stand for it now. Don't cry tomorrow.
Good morning, my name is Elise Byfolk and I am an Army veteran. I was in the Army for 10 years almost as a psychological operations specialist. I deployed to both Iraq and Afghanistan. I am making this video today to express my disgust with the cuts across the board that the federal government have been making, but in particular to the VA. I am a relatively recently service-connected veteran who has a service connections due to health issues from my deployments, and to date my experience with the VA has been fabulous. The providers, the staff has been amazing, and after talking with them, the consensus is that the standard of care cannot be maintained with these cuts. I'm disgusted at this supposed conservative regime that doesn't actually hold any conservative values. Those of us who swore an oath to uphold our great Constitution in this amazing constitutional republic are livid, and we will fight back. And this is wrong. This is not taking care of our vets.
My name is David Gordon Sr. I'm a disabled Army veteran. Every veteran and every U.S. citizen out there needs to recognize Donald Trump for what he is. He's a con man. He's a snake oil salesman. He's a traitor to this country. I served in the military to protect our democracy, not to have a dictatorship or a theocracy. People need to start coming forward. We need to get rid of Trump and his administration. They are Russian assets, and they're only doing Putin's bidding. And we need to stop this before this country goes down the drain and we lose all of our freedoms.
I'm a retired Air Force, retired 6 years ago. There are so many things that I could pick to talk about right now, but this is going to be a specific question to Tom Cotton, because he's probably close to home. He's a veteran as well. So my question for Tom Cotton, there's roughly 30% of the government workforce are veterans. A lot of people are getting cut. I know roughly 21 people that served as a government employee. Some of them were veterans, some of them just served in the government selflessly their whole lives. And to see these cuts happen is saddening, it's disheartening to see Republicans just turn their backs like they have on veterans is horrible. Not only that, but the washing of websites. It's white. I'm sorry, I'm really emotional about this. Medal of Honor recipient because he is black. Because of Native Americans. Women. All of them paid the ultimate sacrifice for this country. And Tom Cotton, I have not heard you one time, sir. I have not heard you one time say a single thing about it. So please, sir, when can we expect you to say something to us?
My name is Kent. I'm a disabled Vietnam veteran and prior military officer. I grew up in a small textile town in Tennessee. I am now retired and live in North Carolina. I own guns and a motorcycle. I am a registered independent voter. I served enlisted as a corpsman in Vietnam and later as a commissioned officer in the United States Air Force. I went to college on the GI Bill, collect medical disability, received my care at the VA medical facilities, have used the VA loan to buy my home as many of us have. I took the same sacred oath we all have in the military, to protect and defend our Constitution from enemies both foreign and domestic. I believe our democratic republic is under attack from domestic oligarchs and corrupt wealthy politicians who have no concept in how the average American lives. I ask all active duty military and veterans to truly look inside your honor and ask, is this the way you want change? Without regard to the rule of law, disregard for our military service, and the turning of the working class into indentured servants for the rich. This is our choice, not theirs. Wake up and rise up.
My name is John Doherty. I served 4 years in the Army. This message is to you MAGA losers and hypocrites out there in particular. You are all full of dog shit. You claim to be pro-military, but only up until we come back from war, right? Then you gotta support us? Go fuck yourself with your goddamn hypocrisy. And by the way, the fucking Russian Federation, which is the enemy of not just the US, but all of mankind and life in general, they put bounties on US soldiers' heads in Afghanistan when I was there. So you take your hypocritical bullshit, you shove it right up your fucking asses, you traitorous fucks.
So I never supported Donald Trump. I thought he was just a passing phase. America had to try something new. But that's just not the case. And what ultimately, pushed me way over the edge was the fact that even if you make the argument that Trump didn't incite an insurrection, the fact that he didn't come out and condemn it, and then when he came back into office, he pardoned these terrorists that attacked our capital, attacked our government, undermined our Constitution, caused the death of police officers. It's just totally un-American and unconstitutional. As veterans, we take an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that domestic part is key. Donald Trump is a domestic enemy. He is violating the Constitution.
As a retired veteran of the U.S. Army Reserve, what spurred me to run for Congress in Ohio? It was a complete betrayal of the working class and poor people of this country in favor of the extreme billionaires, the 1% of Americans. This has been a plan for a long time, and they had to get their authoritarian Donald Trump and his buddy Elon Musk in charge to be able to pull this off. This is a complete betrayal of the American people by the Republican Party as well. They have discarded the veterans that they no longer need. They are discarding the elderly people, and they are discarding the marginalized people of this country. And as veterans of their foreign wars, we're not going to take it anymore.